Hey guys, it's Megan Eller, Sales Executive with First American Title in Denver, Colorado, giving you your weekly Metro Denver market update. I wanted to touch base with you one more time about increased buying power and negotiating power for your buyers heading into August, September, and October. Keep in mind what happens as we head into these next couple of months. We have that slight seasonal transition where inventory grows to its higher peak while our demand started to deteriorate or decay back here in May. The market responds by falling prices. Now, falling prices not to the extent that we need to be concerned about a larger, more catastrophic shift in our marketplace trending fully towards a buyer, but this is a small window of opportunity that exists from Independence Day weekend up until Labor Day weekend or shortly thereafter, where buyers have more choices available to them in the marketplace, coupled with a good interest rate at this point in the market where they can pick up some properties with increased purchasing power. So again, what happens as we head into that July, August, September timeframe, there's about a 10-week period of opportunity. Keep in mind that when we refer to our strategy sheets that we released to you at the beginning of the year that shows the 15 different variables that we're measuring on a consistent basis, the more orange a column is, the more it favors the buyer in that particular negotiation period. This is where the buyer has the best opportunity to have more negotiating and purchasing power at this point. Now, keep in mind that with pricing, there's a normal ebb and flow whether we're going through a recession or a market boom, where we typically realize the majority of our appreciation from January up until June, and then from July through about Labor Day weekend is where our prices end up falling back. It's along the lines of we take 10 to 11 steps forward during that first half of the year, and then we end up taking 3 to 5% steps back. Okay, at the end of the year, we're going to look at about a 5 to 7% appreciation rate overall, but if your buyers have been paying attention, there's falling prices at this point where they're able to have more negotiating power to pick up those properties. Year over year, again, we're still looking at about a 4% appreciation rate as of right now. By the end of the year, what I'm looking for is about 5 to 7%. Now, when we look at those average prices, where we see the largest losses in average sales price or the greatest amount of decay, going into July, we typically expect to lose about 1% of our average sales price. Going into August, so right now, we end up losing about 1.5%, and then into September, we lose about 2 to 2.5%. Okay, so again, those prices end up falling backwards. So this creates the greatest opportunity for buyers to have negotiating power, while sellers make that adjustment for declining buyer demand and increased supply at this point. Okay, so I'm going to encourage you, please take advantage of putting those properties under contract right now. Now, for those of you that have been paying attention, when kids go back to school, there's also a major detractor in the marketplace, and so prices fall even more during that particular week where there are fewer buyers out that are looking during those time frames. Last thing that we'll talk about is the impact of interest rates. Not only do you have increased buying and purchasing power, but you've also had a significant decline in interest rates, and it looks like they've been holding constant in the mid to high 3s for the last 2 months in a row. That decrease in interest rate by about 3/4 of a point from the same time frame 1 year ago completely offsets all of the appreciation that we've brought forth so far this year. That means that your P&I payments for a 30-year fixed loan with 10% down are actually less this year on a more expensive home than they were last year with a higher interest rate. Now, there's no guarantee that interest rates remain low for a long period of time, and we don't have a lot of control or foresight over when those tend to shift in the marketplace. So this couldn't happen at a better time for buyers. So again, if you're FHA approved, VA approved, couldn't make up the appraisal gap, we're less competitive in competitive offer situations, contingent on the sale of another house, or if you're a move-up buyer, please take advantage of these lower interest rates and your opportune time to have additional negotiating power. Again, I hope that if we can help you get your property under contract, that we'll get to meet you at our closing tables. If you'd like to get a copy of these slides and this research, please feel free to reach out to me. All of my contact information is below. We'll talk a little bit more to you next week about what's happening in our marketplace and setting yourself up for success going into the next month. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you soon.